Support for Mission Nonprofit is provided by Thurston Talk.
This program is provided in the public interest by Thurston Community Media. More information at tcmedia.org.
Hi, I'm Robert Kam, and you're watching Mission Nonprofit. Each month, we connect with local organizations and agencies that are making a positive impact in our communities. We've invited Aaron Lamb and Terry Edward Moore from Harlequin Productions to talk about their work. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Our pleasure.
Aaron, why don't you tell us a little bit about what Harlequin Productions is?
Happily. So we're a live performing arts organization. We're a live theater company. We're the only professional live theater company really between Seattle and Portland. We operate on an Actors Equity contract with the Actors Equity Union. We produce 7 shows a year. So if you want to see live theater produced here in town, we're the organization for that.
And where do you see these productions?
At the State Theater, downtown Olympia.
All right. And that's on, is that on 5th or is it on 4th?
It's on 4th.
It's
4th
on
in
4th,
Washington.
okay.
4th
All right.
in Washington, yeah.
4th in Washington, great. And your slogan, real, live, theater.
That's correct.
You didn't get to do any of that for the past year and a half.
We didn't, no. We've had it pretty quiet past 18, 20 months. I think the pandemic took the wind out of our sails along with our entire industry all the way across the country. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's been an interesting time for us and for every theater in America.
I'm sure there were productions happening at the time when you were shut down. What was that process like?
Yes, we were running a Jim Lynch adaptation of a Jim Lynch novel on our stage, The Highest Tide. And about the 3rd week into that, we had to close down. So we shut that production down and that set, and all of the dressing rooms and everything just froze right there and stayed in that place for 18 months. You could still walk into the theater and it looked like we had just had a show the night before, but it had been that way for 20 months now. So. And
what did you do? What did your crew do? What did your employees do? What did you spend your time doing?
We unfortunately had to furlough all of our staff, myself included, just because if the work we do, if there's no way to do it, we're completely shut down. So we shut down and we went into a hibernation mode basically, where we just subsisted on as minimal operation as possible. And then we did some radio theater. We did all the plays that we ended up canceling for 2020. We brought back in the fall of that year with just some radio versions. So actors all in their own houses, everybody completely remote, and we did theater over the internet that way. We did, I think, five of those. Don't quote me on that; I could be wrong. We did a number of them,
including A Christmas Carol.
Oh,
yes,
nice.
Including A Christmas Carol. And then we went silent again for quite a while until we just now opened up for live performances this past month.
And you released those audio dramas or radio shows just on your website, or were they elsewhere?
They were still live theater, so they were available only for that short time when they were running.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And Terry, you brought up A Christmas Story, which you're going to be in. Maybe not the first show back, but one of them. It's happening now, up until December 31st.
We open the day after Thanksgiving, and we'll run through December 31st. Yeah.
Right. And so, who do you play in that?
I play Ebenezer Scrooge.
Okay.
As you may be able to tell from my facial hair.
You look the part. Good.
Well, good. Thank you. That's makes the makeup trailer a little easier. Yeah.
And have you done this role before?
I have, in fact. I've been in one version or another of Christmas Carol. This will be my 11th and my 8th as Scrooge. So yeah.
Now, are you counting the Sherlock Scrooges?
I am counting the Sherlock Scrooges in that. Yeah.
So Terry
Sherlock
played Sherlock Holmes 2 years ago. 2?
Yep.
It's hard to tell with the pandemic.
That's right, yeah.
2 years ago now with us, which is a Christmas Carol version of a Sherlock Holmes story. Sherlock Holmes is the Scrooge character. So.
Interesting.
Gets
Oh, yeah.
visited by the ghost of Moriarty, that kind of thing.
And he solves a mystery of some sort, maybe.
Of some sort, yeah.
Don't want to release too much information there. They have
but
to
that's
see
not-
the show.
that's
That's
not-
not the
that's-
show that's
that's
happening, right? And this show, A Christmas Story, is
Christmas
A Christmas
Carol.
Carol. I'm sorry, is family friendly.
Absolutely.
And you can bring your kids. They we need to go over the rules for attending a show nowadays with the COVID precautions and stuff. Who wants to
That's
talk
correct.
about that?
I'll let Aaron take
Sure,
that one
I'll
away.
talk about it. So we are sort of partnering with the Washington Center to have very similar regulations for audiences. We require vaccination for anyone 12 or over, or a negative COVID test within 72 hours. And we require masks in the theater. 12 and under, for this show, A Christmas Carol will not need to be vaccinated or have a COVID test at that point. So a little easier entry for the young ones at that point.
And there are young ones in the show.
There are.
All
yeah.
right.
There are 2 sets of 2 kids. There'll be 2 kids in each performance, and they will alternate performances.
Okay, great.
So, yeah.
And do you wear masks as an actor?
So far in rehearsals, yes.
Okay.
But pretty soon, no, they will not be masked in performance.
All right.
You'll get to see all our glorious facial expressions.
Yeah, my daughter was in a play at Capitol, and they wore the masks, and
Yeah.
it's harder to hear people.
It is.
It is.
It is. Yeah.
But I guess they need to do that. So,
Yeah.
well, what's your favorite part in the show? Do you have a favorite line? Do you have some kind of insight, a little preview? Do you want to give us a
Well,
monologue?
I can give you a little bit. Bah! Humbug!
I think we all know that line.
What's Christmas time to you but a time for paying bills without any money? Time for finding yourself a year older and not an hour richer. If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled with his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart.
Nice. Love it. I've got to go see that.
Well, the great fun of Scrooge is getting to play both of these extremes, right?
Yeah,
He starts out an absolute bear, as he is described by several characters, which is always fun to play, right? The bad guys have all the best lines, but then I get to make this complete transformation. Into someone who finds great joy in his life, and since we all want a bit more of that in our own lives, that's a fun place to go to.
Well, we certainly need it now, don't we?
Amen. Amen.
So, have you done other shows for Harlequin?
Well, I did this Christmas Carol Sherlock Holmes
that one.
mashup 2 years ago, and I did Scrooge in the audio version of Christmas Carol that we did here last year. But,
And you'll be doing it again next year, I saw on your
We
website.
hope to, yeah. Yeah, the
Okay.
idea is to kind of create this holiday tradition that we do annually. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to go see Stardust. Isn't that what it's
Yes,
called?
Yes, yes. We
Those
did-
were original, right?
Those were original,
somebody
yeah.
local wrote
We did
those?
those many years. Yeah.
Was that somebody local that wrote them, or was it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Linda Whitney wrote them, although she
Nice.
wrote them under a pen name, which is why I hesitate. So, yeah.
All right. Well,
So if anybody didn't know that, surprise.
and that brings me up to mention that you do accept scripts from people. If somebody's a playwright in our
We do,
community,
yeah.
they
We
can send it to
read.
you.
I read a number of scripts every year, so we accept submissions. We prefer submissions from local and regional playwrights rather than national playwrights. But yeah,
Great.
yeah.
Yeah. I think I saw in your history that the first playwright was Brian Willis. I know him.
Yeah. We've worked with Brian Willis a number of times. Yeah.
And then people local can audition. You have auditions, and that's held. We don't know.
I don't think we've
held.
set auditions for our 20 22 season. It's a little different now with COVID, so things are smaller and casts are smaller. But I think, so watch the website. When we do have auditions, they'll be on the website. And if people are interested, email us headshot resume to casting at. That's the best way to get
Casting at harlequinproductions.org.
That's correct.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then in normal times you have classes, you have volunteer opportunities, and all kinds of stuff. But we kind of need to stand by for some of that.
We all do. We all need to stand by for some of that, I think. We're just getting started with production right now, so hopefully we can add back in the educational opportunities that we had. We do, in addition to the classes, we do usually 3 times a year. We do a lot of student matinees. So I think we have a lot of really good theater education in our community with the Olympia Family Theater, with CTE, which is the Creative Theater Experience, for parents who don't know that one. Fantastic programs, and what we don't want to do is try to replicate any of what they do. What we have that's unique to us is professional theater that we can offer. We can offer young audiences. So we have 2 programs. We have student matinees, which we're, again, just getting off the ground as we start up, but we have matinees for school groups that they can book with us during the daytime, during the weekdays. And then we have $5 tickets for teens. Anyone 19 and under, tickets are always $5. Day of at the door, but always $5.
If there's seats available, I would imagine.
That's correct. And right now there are. Come
Okay.
down.
Yeah, and didn't you have certain days of a show might be a pay what you can or a discounted?
Yes, yeah. So we do a pay what you choose night. We do we do a pay what you choose performance, but we'll usually pick 2 to 3 performances in each show run to offer that. So there's a little bit of variety, and then those are again 2 hours prior to show, day of, on the days that we designate. So you can get on that email list and know when those dates are. Watch our website to know when those dates are. But then whatever you feel is appropriate is acceptable.
All right. Now you can buy tickets to these shows on your website, right?
That's correct.
harlequinproductions.org, and pick your night, pick your seat. Is that
You can pick
is that
your
how you
seat,
do?
yep.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Well, and I know there's a lot more going on in the theater besides the actors on the stage and the audience and the website selling tickets and everything. There's, you've got set designers, you've got a technical crew. I picked out a video from your YouTube to show the audience, which is kind of an insight into how complicated it is to do. Sometimes you do multiple shows at the same time, so they have to change the set. In a day.
We just started that. Well, we just did that for sort of coming out of the pandemic. We picked 3 shows to run in rotating repertory, so they open 1 week apart and then they alternate days for all of this month. Right now that's going on. So
okay, so it's kind of like an every other day thing. They have to change the set to the,
that's
to
correct.
the other production.
That's correct. And then once we get to A Christmas Carol, we'll just run that all of December.
Okay, that won't be one of those. Okay, but let's take a look at this video and get a little bit more insight into that process.
Yeah.
My name is Jeannie Byrne. I am a set designer at Harlequin. I am the resident set designer. A set designer designs the visual environment that you see on the stage, the physical set pieces, backdrops, furniture, everything that the actors interact with and perform in front of. Set design for me started as a kid doing theater. I went to undergrad for an acting degree and got there and realized I really loved to paint, and I had a professor who told me you should actually be a set designer instead, all because I picked out a glass doorknob when everyone else did a basic.
My name is Mark Bougeot, and I'm the technical director, and I've been with this company for over 20 years, 94 as a volunteer, and my role is primarily set related. Let's figure out how the set can work, look at the designs, try to figure out how to build them, and make sure they're going to work. And then there's additionally a little bit of involvement in other technical aspects, making sure things are in place.
A true rotating repertory season means that shows perform simultaneously. So rather than a show opening and performing for 4 weeks and then closing and having downtime before the next show opens and performs for 4 weeks, we have 4 shows that will be opening in quick succession and performing all week. So that means that we have to change over the set at least once a day, and sometimes more than once a day, so that you can see multiple shows in 1 week.
Jeannie basically looked at it very practically, which I'm very appreciative of, because she knows that there's only so much space.
The biggest obstacles when designing for a true rotating rep, especially in the case of Harlequin Productions where we only have one stage, the biggest obstacle is that everything has to fit on that one stage, and it has to be able to come in and out for each production, sometimes once a day, sometimes more than once a day. So the biggest challenge is finding set pieces that will work for all of the shows.
What I'd like people to feel when they come in to see a show, and that's true with all the shows, is I want them to be involved in the show and not at all distracted by anything that catches their attention because it looks wrong. And that's really what it is. I mean, anything else I think is up to the director or the designer, what the design is and how the show's going. And I just don't want to detract from that. I want to support that.
We want you to feel that human connection. We want you to engage in the environment again with people. It's about human beings being in a room again, being on the stage again, engaging with that built environment. There's the built environment of the theater, but there's also the built environment of the set. Most of the sets have something to do with the juxtaposition of artifice and humanity and what the characters are going through as people as opposed to the role they're supposed to be playing.
Welcome back to Mission Nonprofit. If you're just joining us, our guest this month is Harlequin Productions. And Aaron and Terry are here to talk to me about Harlequin. And Terry is playing Scrooge in A Christmas Carol. Aaron is the artistic director. So, what a great insight. I love to see those shots of the performers and the sets and everything.
It's lovely.
Terry, tell me about this. Do you have an idea what the set is like for A Christmas Carol right now at this point?
Not much.
Not yet.
We get our first walk around on it. On Friday?
On Friday, yeah. A difficulty with this rotating repertory that we have is that our theater space is premium. So we are rehearsing off-site, so we don't get a chance for this cast to really be on stage at all, except maybe once or twice. So
because you have shows going on right now.
Because we have there's a show going on as we're speaking here today.
We're shooting this in November, but it's airing in December. So now the show is A Christmas Carol, and it goes on through the end of the month. So when did you start up with productions? Was it October?
We started rehearsals in, at the beginning of October, and our first show opened October 20th. Yeah, so then we opened one show a week, October 20th, October 29th, and then the first week in November, November 4th, I believe, we opened the third show. So now those three are running,
Okay. And then can you give us a little bit of preview of what's coming after A Christmas Carol?
After Christmas Carol, yeah. So the first show of the year of 2022 will be a show called Murder for Two. It's two actors. One plays the detective, one plays all the suspects, and they both play the piano. So it's fun, it's zany, it's fast, it's funny. That'll be a good time. After that, we're going back to classics. We've had a long history with doing classical theater work, so we're going back to some Absurdist, some Beckett. We'll do Endgame at that point, Beckett's Endgame. And we'll follow that with a play by Mary Catherine Nagel. She's a native lawyer and playwright, and the play is called Sovereignty, and it deals with native rights. And then I could go through them all.
We've got
and then
time.
we're doing Hedwig and the Angry Inch for our summer musical. So that should be a lot of fun. Yeah, big rock musical. Rolling Stone called it the greatest rock musical of all time. Hard stop. So I don't argue with them, so I tend to agree. Following that, we're doing a play called This Flat Earth, which new play out of Playwrights Horizons, pre-pandemic, but by Lindsay Ferrantino. It deals with school shooting
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a really wonderful and touching story with a couple of middle school students.
Wow. So
Yeah.
it's young actors, kids.
Young actors in that one.
Nice.
Yeah. And then we're doing Fun Home, which the community might know from the college's production of it a couple years ago. So Fun Home is Alison Bechdel's. It's a musical version of her graphic novel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So that's our whole year coming up, and then of course we'll end that with Christmas Carol again.
Christmas Carol again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So how big is this cast for Christmas Carol? I know you said that the casts are smaller.
They are smaller.
Yeah. So
This is one of our biggest casts so far, for sure.
so far being back
Where
open.
I think we're 10, including both sets of kids. Is
I
that right?
think we're.
Wow,
I
that's
think
not very big.
yeah. So I think each show has 9 players in it. We've got six players, which rotate through all the different characters. We've got Scrooge, and then we've got a boy and a girl that play all the young roles.
Okay, so people kind of switch parts and
Yes.
same actors.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Except me.
Except for
Well.
Scrooge. Okay.
Just switch personalities.
I just switched personalities. Yeah.
That's right.
It's kind of like switching roles.
We've got some fantastic design for this, which I'm really excited to see. Our resident design team. We have a core resident design team. So we've got Jeannie Byrne, who's done the set for all of these. Olivia Burlingame, who's doing lighting. Keith Jewell and Gina Salerno doing sound. Darren Mills doing costumes. So really, really exciting. Lots of special effects, lots of fog, lots of lighting effects, lots of smoke. We have a candle that turns on and off by itself with a real flame.
Wow.
So yeah. So it's there will be a snowfall. So
Oh,
it's
you're giving away
yeah.
too much here.
But when? But when? See, I didn't give that away. But it's exciting. There'll be a lot of bells and whistles. And it's a short show. It runs about 75 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Intermission in there?
Nope.
Nope. Just
Nope.
solid show. Okay.
Yep.
Great.
Straight through.
Straight
We do it all once.
Straight, fast run. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And people can buy tickets now.
They can. They're
go
on sale
their
now.
website and pick the date they want, pick the seat they want to sit in,
That's right.
and get the show.
Yep.
So yeah, if anybody's never been to a show at the State Theater, I encourage you to go. It's a cool kind of, isn't it like is it an arena style? Is that what you call it? Or is it half arena?
It's probably half arena. We call it a thrust stage. It's for anyone who knows the town and the town history. It was a movie theater, 1948, 1949. Since then, it was a single theater, movie theater, and then the 80s they split it up. 1998, Harlequin Productions came in and did a full remodel to pour in a new risers, put a new stage in, and sort of partition off half of it. So we have a really nice, really intimate. No seat is more than I think 24 feet from the stage or something like that.
Yeah,
so
you
really
don't have
nice, really intimate.
balconies way up high
Right.
where you have to use binoculars or something
No,
like that.
No.
live performance. You're right there. Yeah. So it's nice. It's a nice space.
And since you're on Mission Nonprofit, you are a nonprofit organization.
We are.
You can benefit from people donating. You know.
Of course.
Yeah.
And also, you need volunteers for things, but that's being handled through the Washington Center.
The Washington Center is, we're sort of partnering with them to run our front of house right now. But yes, we do need volunteers. We staff a lot of shows. We spend about half the year with a live performance on stage. So every other day, it averages out. So we've almost always have shows going on. So we definitely have a need for ushers, house managers, concessionaires, and all of that. And if people are interested, please contact the Washington Center, because we do need people. And post-COVID, it's more difficult. It's more difficult to get people to come out.
Yeah.
So it'd be really helpful. Yeah.
And to review, vaccination is required or a negative COVID test. Masks are required through the whole show.
Correct.
Unless I saw you're actively eating or drinking, do you serve food and drinks?
We serve drinks right now. They're not allowed in the house, but for a Christmas Carol, we will allow drinks in the house. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have like themed drinks? Like
We do.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
we better not give it away.
Oh,
leave
yeah.
leave something to the imagination. That sounds delightful,
Yeah.
though. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
And the kids will like it.
Yes. We hope so. We believe they will.
We believe they will.
And since it's a short show, they won't get restless, right? I mean,
Right,
you know,
yeah.
older kids, maybe not so much an issue, but, you know,
Yeah.
the younger ones. And it's neat for them to see kids on stage,
Absolutely.
too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So our artistic community, they can get involved by being actors, by maybe doing like set design, lighting, like technical crew, things like that. And is that all through volunteering, or is that separate? That's different.
Well, so there are volunteer opportunities for if you have experience with stagecraft. We have load in and load out.
Yeah,
When
when
we
you're in the
move a
stage
set
part.
into the space, when we move a set out, we need as much help as we can get for days like that. Most of our backstage are paid positions, but they're of course. No, they don't last year round, so they last on a show-by-show basis. So we definitely need people who have an interest and an experience level.
And what do people do if they do have that experience? How do they get in contact with you?
Yeah, email Gina Salerno, who is our company manager, and she can be reached at Gina, Gina, Gina at harlequinproductions.org.
Okay. And I want to review that your website is harlequinproductions.org, and people can go there, buy tickets, find out more information about you. Is there anything else you guys would like to add? Let's start with you, Terry. Anything else you'd like to add about A Christmas Carol, or about theater, or about Harlequin Productions?
Well, I'd just say that, after the last 20 months that we've all been through, I think Christmas Carol is exactly what we need. That it moves from a place of darkness into a place of light, into a place of joy. And I think we all need a bit of that right now.
Excellent. Well said. How about you, Aaron?
Yeah. Well, how do I follow that? I mean, I think that's the essence, right? That's the essence of it. We want to tell stories that that really help lift our community in many ways. So this is a good, I think, re-entry into society and into coming out and getting back to life again. This is a good story that helps do that.
All right. Back to real live theater.
Exactly.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Back to being in the same room together.
Exactly.
Which is what our art form is truly all about.
Well, that's all we have for you for this episode of Mission Nonprofit. Please visit their website, harlequinproductions.org. You can also find them on Facebook at Harlequin Productions, or Instagram, Harlequin_Productions, and on Twitter at Real Live Theater. See you next time.
Support for Mission Nonprofit is provided by Thurston Talk.
This program is provided in the public interest by Thurston Community Media. More information at TCMedia.org.